Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Semi-Soccer Expert Podcast, also known as the
See.
Podcast. All right, guys, this is a very interesting episode. We're doing a Zoom podcast,
So everybody else is doing right now. Everybody's
a
living
video
life.
podcast. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna be posting this on YouTube. We're gonna explore a little bit, see if we can, post this anywhere else. But let's get the show on the road. Big topic of the day, the big topic of the month, the big topic of the
Well, let me cut you off before we get to our topics. And not only this is just a new episode for us, but this is our 25th episode, the Diamond
25.
version.
I can't think of anything relevant to 25.
I don't know, but hey, we got 25 episodes in, and it only takes a virus for us to do a video stream. So
That's it, 25. So that's a quarter of a quarter episode.
yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
All right, but
that's a
like you said, coronavirus, COVID-19. An unfortunate turn of circumstances. It is not only is it the football world, is it the sports world, is it
the whole world.
Whatever, it's the whole world, Unfortunately, this virus has shut down, put the world on pause, whatever you want to call it. And it's really taking a toll, especially financially, on sports, on the business side. First things first, we can't watch sports.
Yeah.
Can't watch sports. No basketball, no baseball, no soccer, nothing. I'm going nuts, Adrian. I'm going completely nuts. I'm bored out of my mind.
You're telling me there's essentially nothing going on. Every major sports program / organization is done. They're canceled. They're postponing. And this is in effect till at least June because, everyone is just trying to figure out when this epidemic's going to end, when we're going to get back to normal and everything. But the funny thing is, we were talking about this yesterday, is that there is still some soccer going on.
In Belarus.
In Belarus.
Belarus.
So we were trying to. I could have sworn that the Australian League was still going on, but that's suspended. And I heard some rumors that a league in Pakistan is still going on, but I don't know how far or how legit is that. But it's just crazy. Just one league in the whole world.
Just one league in the whole world. And I think the other league would be the Nicaraguan league, which the president of Nicaragua said that this is some kind of conspiracy theory, or this is baloney, or this isn't as serious as it ought to be. So life in Nicaragua is going as it was going, as normal, whatever the normal might be over there. But yeah, so again, no sports now. Like I said before, we can't watch any sports. This is basically crippling, not so crippling, maybe not financially, but this is damaging beIN Sports, Fox Sports, NBC Sports. They're losing a lot of money, losing viewership, and they have these empty time slots to fill with content.
Yeah.
That probably isn't the hardest part. The hardest part is probably getting those people to watch that content. I know NBC, right in the beginning of all this, they were putting like classic games from over the years of the Premier League. beIN Sports, they played El Clásico from 405, where you had players like Ronaldinho, Zidane, Roberto Carlos, a young Xavi, a young Iniesta playing. But again, those were old games, and I don't think they generate the same amount of viewership as obviously something live, something new, something fresh. I think that right now is the biggest hurdle in terms of finances, in terms of viewership, in terms of generating business traction, I guess you would call it. What do you think about that, Adrian?
No, I totally agree with you. All the sports channels are being, harmed by this, and they're losing money as we speak. Speaking of Fox Sports, we're going to mention this in a few, but they actually come out with an initiative with MLS to stream esports with through MLS teams and selected players. So that's something we'll cover in a few. But other than that, other channels, like you said, they're just showing replays of all the major games that have happened in the past, which is all fine and dandy. But not many. It's not going to attract many people to go out and see, hey, a game I just saw. I could just easily YouTube it or just view it online. So it's pretty accessible just to see pre-recorded games because we know the result, we know what's happened. That's why these companies are losing a lot of money because they're like we're in a position like, okay, now what do we do? And ESPN has also been trying to do something different as well. Yesterday on Sunday they were doing a game of horse basketball with all players shooting around, doing tricks, just to get that sorted out. And they're actually going to do another next Sunday. They're going to do the Michael Jordan. I think it's the ESPN special that they're going to highlight like when he won his championships and everything.
His documentary. Yeah. His documentary. They're going to talk about.
And that was actually pushed back to like I think later this year, but because of what's going on, they're pushing it more sooner, and they're going to release it next week. So it's definitely going to attract a lot of viewers because Michael Jordan.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm going to watch it for sure, 100%. But, let's talk about also now we covered the TV revenue side of things. What about, even though you and me both know it's not so much a big revenue generated, tickets, season tickets, in stadia, when people buy stuff in the stadium, merchandise, food, parking lot vouchers, all those things. That's another source of revenue that teams and stadiums, because sometimes the teams don't own the stadiums, are losing. That's another hole to fill. Just to cover the ticket, our good friends at NYCFC, apparently they're still charging for the season tickets.
Which is ludicrous.
Apparently, I haven't confirmed this 100%, but it is ludicrous to be charging. And again, I'm going by off a rumor, but a team that says we're for the city, we're for the community, we're for NYC, you're going to charge a ticket, you're going to charge your season tickets, which are expensive. It's not something cheap. You're going to charge your season tickets in the middle of a pandemic when people don't have work. I think whoever, and I honestly, this is the first time I'll say something drastic like this, is that whoever authorized this, whoever approved it, this needs to get fined. Like, this was a bad move. This was a bad PR move. This was a bad fan relations move. I don't know whose idea was to do this, but it's just a bad move. I heard another weaker rumor. Red Bulls are trying to do the same thing. I haven't confirmed that either. Again, these are just two unconfirmed rumors. It looks like this type of initiative is team-wise and not MLS-wise, which it's good to know, because at least maybe somebody in MLS has a brain.
No, I totally agree. It's not just that it's unethical and irresponsible to charge, fans who are probably laid off or like don't have the funds right now because not many people are working. Millions of people are filed for unemployment here, and now they're put in a situation where they have to pay season tickets just to get through, which should be the last thing on their minds, because you should be worried about your family and everything else that's going on. Like, I understand your business is losing money, but you should figure out different alternatives as to when you can start charging these fans. You're going to lose fans regardless if this goes through. Like you already said, this is a rumor. We don't know. It's he said, she said stuff. So we'll just take it as it is. But we're just hoping, it's just a rumor. It's not official. And hopefully someone from NYCFC can clear this up.
Someone that we know personally.
Yeah, I know.
So that was that. I mean, again, I think now let's talk about getting back on track really quick. Between all the major sports league, there looks like there's a date in mind to restart everything up. It seems to be sometime in June.
Yeah, June. I've been hearing as well as a set. It's pretty much a timetable return to all sports, but I don't think they're even going to do it with fans. I think right now when they do necessarily go back in June, that they're going to empty arenas. They're just going to have the athletes play.
And I think I agree with that in that sense. It sucks because, especially, Red Bull Arena in the summertime. It's a great place to be. It's an amazing,
beautiful weather,
beautiful atmosphere, beautiful weather. I love that stadium in the summertime. But, circumstances require that, I don't think there should be crowds. I 100% agree that if the CDC, if our health officials, or if our health experts say it's not a good idea to have large crowds full of 25, 50,000 people, I'm all for it. I agree with that. I'd rather take the safe route. I mean, I think widespread, all these sports leagues, what they need to do is test all their athletes, test all their personnel, make sure no one within the organization has it. So again, it's all about stopping the spread. So hopefully they do some type of that, some initiative like that. Regarding a lot of the NBA, I know a lot of players in the NBA were confirmed positive. No one in the MLS, even though MLS has only been playing I think we got through 2 games in the season.
It started really early during the season.
Right, 2 games during the season. I don't think, to my knowledge, no one in the MLS has reported to say that they have coronavirus.
Well, I think that's also the reason why, because the season started early. Not many players were interacting. They weren't traveling as much. So with that, it really didn't hit MLS hard. But, once the NBA canceled their season, that's when the dominoes started going.
Yeah, the dominoes, like as soon as it was a Utah Jazz and Oklahoma
Thunder.
Thunder.
Idiot from Utah Jazz, Rudy Gobert.
They canceled the game there. A couple hours later, they canceled the whole season.
Yeah,
they suspended the season.
Suspended the season.
And hopefully we see some basketball. Apparently, I think this week was the start of playoffs.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the week of playoffs to start in the NBA, which is crazy because you don't think about it. It's just like early April. It's like, oh, wow, it's playoffs time. But now we don't get that. But, just with this going on, I think this actually can create the potential for, a different, like the way a season's going to end, because now, like, not just the NBA, but different sports leagues.
Right. And what's crazy is that their MLS was talking about still playing a full season. And that's, that I don't think that's going to happen.
Are they going to play till January? I don't think so.
It's not unheard of to play soccer in January.
There's some parts here in the U.S. where it gets
you
really.
You can get away with it in New York. You can't get away with it in Toronto, Montreal.
Yeah, exactly.
Up in Massachusetts.
Does Toronto play in a dome? I don't remember.
Oh, Toronto doesn't play a dome. They have their open air stadium.
Yeah, that's
right next to the water too. You're gonna get that wind tunnel.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I think they definitely need to split it into regions. They have to play, the West plays the West, East plays the East. You can't fill what are we at, 30 something? No, how many games a season?
Oh, the games? I think you were talking about teams.
No.
34, I believe.
34. All right, you can't. There's no way from June, July, August, September. You're getting into October. That's 5 months. You can't fit 30 games in 5 months. It's just
34 games.
34 games in 5 months. It's just unheard of, because especially if the United States were the size of, if it was the size of Portugal, the size of Spain, smaller land masses, but you have 4 different time zones and huge time zones. I think Spain has 1.5 time zones. That time difference, that travel distance, it doesn't work.
I think MLS might do as well, which is not the smartest thing to do, is potentially have more games midweek, to speed up the process of the season. And that's not going to be good for some players because, like you said, you're proposing East and West. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're just going to do the regular schedule. And, you might get, like, for example, Red Bulls may play against Seattle Sounders on a Sunday and then have to travel, like, all the way to Canada on a Wednesday. And then after that, come back to New York for a Saturday game. Like, that's a brutal travel schedule.
That's a brutal travel schedule. I don't think they'll do that either, because also think about the one team that has a very significant schedule restraint.
Which one?
NYCFC. Who do you think?
Oh, because with the Yankees.
Yankees baseball is still early enough.
That's the other thing too, because that's going to be another conflict with NYCFC, because baseball has also been suspended, and they're still going to do their whole season.
They can get away with it. It's still early enough in the timeline that they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Think opening day was supposed to be about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's always the beginning of April.
Right. MLS has lost about a month now.
Yep. They got a month to catch up.
They got a month to catch up, and the way soccer's structured, it's a lot more difficult. Baseballs, they can have double headers.
Yeah.
You know,
That's in this, and that's the other thing too. Like, granted, right now this is a good rest for a lot of the players who are out injured, who
oh,
are recovering
absolutely.
from injury. But if you're going to be thrown right back into the shuffle and just play nonstop games, it's going to be very detrimental to a lot of players' health. And I'm just hoping that the league does have some sense in when to organize these and, be considerate for the players, which you don't seem to agree with or believe.
I think the biggest motivation, though, you have a marquee player like Carlos Vela. They're not going to put him through game after game after game. He gets injured. God forbid he gets injured. That's their star player.
Yeah,
that man brings in money. That man brings in money to LAFC. Name another player for LAFC that you can think of right now.
Rossi.
It took you a second to think. There's no star name. LA Galaxy's Chicharito. After that, I'm like,
Nah, no one else.
And that is not to say that we don't know soccer. It's just like they don't command star power.
Yeah, it's the star powers and the players you can first think off the top of your head. And MLS only has not that many, but they're smart with like this. The high market teams like to have with a certain amount of players.
And I think honestly, it's not so much the players' health; it's their value, their monetary value. As I hate to say it, they're an asset. These athletes are an asset to the team. They're not going to put some of them to hurt themselves where they're out. God forbid, something like Josef Martinez, he tore his ACL. Lucky for him, he's not missing out on anything right now. He gets to recover, and hopefully by the next season, he's ready to go. I
was going to even think, like, maybe he could play at the end of this season. When did he get injured specifically?
He got injured, like, at the beginning of the season, I think.
So now he wouldn't come back then. Yeah, so, well, at least he'll be healthy for next season.
Back by January, but he's not coming back to the end of the season.
Yeah, and it was an ACL, so that takes time to recover and everything.
Right.
Unless you're like Zlatan and just come back like a monster.
Right. But yeah, so again, it comes down to whether these teams, these organizations are going to risk their assets. Are they going to risk losing money? It's a tough balance because do I risk my money on my player or do I risk not playing a season?
Yeah.
Do I risk playing less games a season?
And that's a lot of pressure, not just on the teams, but also like the coaching staff and everybody else around the organization, because they have to be mindful and thoughtful of like how to, prepare your players and to make sure that they're all healthy and, they're
right.
able to play.
And it's not just
they're all fit, essentially.
Right. It's not just the athletes. It's, it's the medical staff. It's the coaching staff. It's also the people that work at the stadium, the ticket sales, the GMs, all those people. You're gonna crunch a whole season in a couple months. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with that. I think again, MLS needs to do something. If they're not gonna do East versus West, fine, but they cannot. I don't think they can. They can't. I think
you can't do a regular schedule.
Can't do a regular schedule. The Players Union is also going to probably say something about that. I was like, "Oh, this is not in the CBA."
And the funny thing is that the latest CBA they just did, they're now allowed to get more charter flights. So it does help out, but in the end of things, like there's still going to be a lot of traveling that's going to be done within
Right.
So I feel like to alleviate everybody, they should just get charter flights for every team for every time they travel away. That's considered about a mile, like especially if you're going from New York to LA, New York to Canada, vice versa, because
for sure, 100%.
It's going to take a toll on these players. But since we're talking about MLS, I feel like it's a good transition to go over to our topic. So with MLS, they're going to do with Fox Sports a partnership to host an esports league, which is going to be starting up in a couple weeks. And with this, you got names like Chicharito from Galaxy, Paul Arriola from DC United, and Nani, who plays for Orlando. They're all going to take part of this. I think it's going to be live. And with this, they're going to play against other players from different teams. Essentially, it's not just going to be the players, but it's going to be the esports representatives for the teams. and they're gonna be playing against each other in like a knockoff type of game, like a FIFA tournament essentially. And with this, I feel like it's a cool way to bring things in because, like I said, since there's nothing going on, you have pre-recorded games and everything else. I feel like this is the new way to like the initiative and also, introduce the whole world to like what esports is about.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think it's a great initiative now. First of all, there's nothing to watch. We need something to watch. The consumer needs something to consume. We need these companies need eyeballs again back glued to their product. I think also if this is successful, we're going to see this in the future.
I think so too because I feel like this is a great trial run to do right now because considering you got nothing else being streamed or being shown on live, who else is gonna watch this? Like I feel like they're gonna hit their demo of essentially kids like people like us who play FIFA and younger kids as well from 18 to 25 that region and potentially even up to the 30s because not only you're giving more exposure to the MLS but you're also giving more exposure of how the esports is done, how normally gamers do this on a daily basis. So I feel like it's a great way to promote it and also like especially on MLS to get people to know like, oh, Chicharito's on this, oh, Nani's on this, and then from the U.S. team, Paul Arriola on it as well.
Right, and also it grabs the fact that they're using their star players, whether they're playing or just using them as promotion. It's going to get the casual MLS fan who's not necessarily into video games to say, let me check this out. And then they probably discover something they like and they stay there. But again, it's about bringing all these eyeballs, all these people glued to our product. It's going to have people engaged. It's going to keep MLS relevant. This is a new initiative, but I think Liga MX started something earlier. They're doing their own FIFA thing, esports FIFA thing, and MLS got the idea from them. I haven't heard Europe doing anything like this of the sort, but I think esports with FIFA over there is big as it is. But I think it would be great to see a La Liga thing. I've seen
Actually, La Liga has done something like this. I don't think it was streamed on any TV channels.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's not being like I'm sure La Liga's had esports tournaments, but it's not something that they broadcast on live TV.
Correct. Yeah, because this is essentially they stream all this on Twitch or on YouTube, vice versa. Because I just realized too personally because I play FIFA, so you could stream your games on like YouTube and on Twitch. Just press the share button. I use a PS4, so you just press the share button on your PS4. You just go down to stream broadcast, shows it to the whole world, which is really cool. And while I was reading the article about the MLS and Fox Sports partnership, is that normally on Twitch, a lot of these esports gamers, they get over 1 million viewers, which is insane. So if you're someone at Fox Sports and you hear about this, you're like, wait, this is a great opportunity, not just to make revenue, but to generate eyeballs, to get new advertisers. It's a win-win, especially if you're in the marketing department.
I mean, you hit the keyword right there. Generate new advertisers, bring in new companies that normally aren't into soccer. Like, I think the company is called Oracle. They used to sponsor the arena where Golden State Warriors played in Oakland, and that's a giant tech company. Now, obviously, they're focused in basketball, but maybe a company like that has some type of investment in esports and comes and does a partnership with the actual sport. That's another avenue, another bridge being opened up. Again, I think this is a great initiative. This is something that's going to help bridge two different communities even closer together. Because honestly, as much as I like FIFA and esports, I don't think it generates a lot of buzz.
No, definitely.
It's a very.
If you're not in the gaming world, nobody's gonna know about you.
Right. No one pays attention to it. Like the people I play soccer with, they don't they play FIFA casually, but they're not like, man, I know the player for NYCFC. I know the esports representative for New York Rebels. They don't talk about that. No one talks about that. I think now it's definitely going to help bridge that gap and bring those two communities closer together, and just mesh them together. That's what's gonna happen. But I just like the idea that, bringing this esports world and bringing the actual sport together, there's going to be advertisers, there's going to be cross promotion, there's going to be a lot of money available there to make. Especially right now, since we're on Zoom, we have to use technology. We're dependent on it now. Who knows? Maybe this might be the new norm where a lot of people are interacting more like this via video conference, via whatever. But it's gonna make this exchange of media, of entertainment, more accessible, more normalized, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like this is, like I said, this is an interesting new development. We're just gonna wait and see how it is. Obviously, they're gonna get a lot of. They're gonna attract I think a couple million. Maybe I'm being a little more optimistic than usual.
I'd say a million. I think a couple
Yeah,
million.
and like I said, this is smart on MLS to do it because Fox Sports is a big platform. I think they're gonna do it on FS1, which is still a great thing. I think they should go hard and go for Fox in general, but I'm pretty sure they got their own like programming that goes on at that time. But regardless, even on Fox FS1, you're still gonna attract a lot of eyeballs, and with the advertisers and everything else that goes with it, it's a win-win for both companies. And especially there's not going to be any sports till at least like June. So
Yeah.
this is like bridging the gap until we have real sports, coming back into fruition.
Right. And hopefully sports do come back, and hopefully we can get back to the stadium as soon as possible, because I hate this life, man. I'm blessed to have a job right now. I think you're still working,
Likewise.
right?
Yep.
It's hard times for everybody. It's hard times for I haven't seen my parents in 2 months. This is a difficult time, and I pray to God, I pray to the world that everything, it normalizes it. That there's a vaccine. Pray for the medical professionals, the doctors, the nurses, all these frontline workers, the grocery store clerks, people working at pharmacies.
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to all those essential workers, and especially to like people who work at hospital, doctors, nurses, and any of the staff, even the janitorial people who work there on a daily basis. This
100%.
this is like a big thing that's going on, and their names are not like being published or being held in high praise, but they definitely deserve all the support you can. And also, like, I know it's just been hard for anybody going out in general, but also support your local businesses as well, because they're the ones who are being hit hard as well. Small businesses like restaurants, bodegas, mom and pop shops, everything like that. Just I would recommend everybody just to go support them. Just see if you need to go out there and buy anything. Because they need it right now. Because they're not generating as much money, and they're just pretty much suffering just like all of us. So we want to keep them in thought and just make sure that they're being thought of as well.
All right, no, 100%, Adrian. Any more topic you want to hit? I mean, it's pretty slow. The newsroom is slow, man. There's not much to talk about.
Oh, I shared this with you on Twitter earlier. Best soccer movie growing up
Oh
that you
no,
watched.
it's definitely a
Ben
goal.
like Beckham?
No,
Huh?
no, no, goal is my
Which
favorite.
one? One or two?
Oh, number one. I like number two.
I
Uh,
like number two more than number one, to be honest.
I like number one. Number one's a little more.
More personal because the way he was, his upbringings and everything else.
More personal. It's just a lot cooler. I mean, number two, yeah, number two is great. Number one, but number one is better. I like the fact that they discovered him in like L.A. They bring him all the way to Newcastle. It's a nice story. Accomplishing your dreams. No, but definitely number one.
For me, I would say Green Street Hooligans. That's a crazy film.
Great movie.
That's a crazy film. Like, it's not really like soccer based, but it just shows you like how the essentially away fans, or like the crazy ultras are, their whole lifestyle is portrayed in that movie, and it gets crazy. But it's really cool to see see that in like a motion picture, and the way they did it, it was a really good movie, really well done.
No,
I watched it I think a couple months ago.
But even better, I think Club de Cuervos. If you haven't seen it, it's a series on Netflix. It's only in Spanish, but you have to watch that series. That's a great series about soccer. It's a family running a full professional soccer team. They just get promoted from the second division in Mexico up to the first division, and it shows you the business side of the game of running a team. That is my favorite series in terms of series. Movie, goal. Series, that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What other series have I watched recently.
I've watched only a couple episodes, but Sunderland Until I Die, I've heard is really
I
good.
heard good reviews about it.
I think the movie is called The English Game, or is it series? That
Which
recently came out. There's the Boca documentary. There's the Juventus documentary. There's a lot of stuff. There was a documentary on the French culture of soccer. I think the story of the '98 World Cup, and up until the recent World Cup, there's a story about that. That's a great documentary. They talk about how France basically decided to unify all the youth academies into one system, and that's what brought in the '98 World Cup generation. That's a good series. Um, can't think of anything right now, but I think I say Club de Cuervos is the best. Watch Club de Cuervos, man. It's a great series.
is it on Netflix
Yes,
or?
Netflix. Netflix. They got 3 series, and they got spin-off. They got 2 spin-off series. So it's great, man. Definitely recommend it.
All right, definitely something for me to check out on. I think that's about it for now.
Yeah, Adrian, that's it. I think that was a decent episode. I hope
First Zoom episode.
first Zoom episode. Hopefully, it'll last. I want to go back to the mic.
Yeah, same here. It's weird because essentially this is where we record, a little Easter egg. Um, Usually it would be us on a table in my man cave, and we would just use our mics, hook it up to my laptop, get a session done, and that's pretty much how we get it done. But now since we're restricted, to stay at home, obviously you're recording from your place, I'm recording from my man cave. But I like it, and I feel like we'll see how it goes going forward. And I think the cool thing about this is that we can actually bring in more guests. So maybe we can hit up a friend or two of ours to
I
get
think
their
this is
perspective and see how it goes.
a perfect opportunity for Marco to come in.
Yeah, there's no excuses for him.
But all right, guys, please stay safe. Adrian, stay safe.
Likewise, you too, my man. Take it easy. All right, and we want to thank you guys for listening to our podcast, our first ever video podcast. Obviously, there's gonna be more coming in the future, and yeah, that's about it. It's gonna be on YouTube. We're gonna see if we can get an audio version of this as well for our SoundCloud viewers, and we'll see how it goes in the near future. Let us know what you think, and thank you all.